at literally a second chance at life. Secondly, it made me love and appreciate my family and my many friends in a very, very special way. And finally, it's made me love and appreciate the importance of sharing the message of Operation Lifesaver and rail safety to as many people as I possibly can. For about 10 years, I had that opportunity. I worked full-time as an Operation Lifesaver presenter, and I'll be forever grateful for Amtrak for allowing me to do that. I went back to as an engineer in the latter part of 2003, and between 2003 and 2006, again, I had many close calls and several actual collisions. I'll never ever forget my last week as an engineer with Amtrak. On November 3rd, 2006, a beautiful Sunday, I headed towards Tampa. Pretty uneventful trip until I got to Lakeland, Florida. I left Lakeland. An FRA representative had just boarded the train to inspect me and check my paperwork and so forth. He was going to ride on into Tampa, which is only about 30 minutes. About 10 minutes after we left Lakeland, I got up to about 79 miles per hour, and we were coming up to a crossing called Airport Road. I got to the whistle post, started to blow for the whistle post, which is about 1,200 feet away, and guess what? Broke through the gates and ran out in front of my train. A gasoline tanker. According to witnesses, we missed that tanker by 2 feet. The FRA inspector was pretty shook up, and so was I at that point, but we went on our normal way, and once we got our brake test done and brakes released, walked our train, got back up to 79 mile an hour and rounded a right-hand curve, broke for a 70 curve. Right around the curve was a man fishing on a trestle. He jumped off at the last split second. I never even had a chance to put the brakes on. Got back up to 79 miles per hour. The next right-hand curve, there was a man pushing a wheelbarrow in the middle of the track in the same direction I was going. Pretty unbelievable. He got out of the way at the last second. I demolished his wheelbarrow. The FRA inspector looked at me, and I'll never forget this either. He said, Billy, are all your trips like this? And I said, no, sir, thank God they're not. They're bad, but not this bad. He says, can I tell you I'm ready to get off this engine? And I was ready to get off at the time also. I got to Tampa, I got to the hotel for a long layover about 1 p.m. and normally I watch TV all day, especially being on a Sunday in football season. That day I went to bed about 1:15, never ate lunch, never ate dinner, was just mentally, totally exhausted. Got up the next morning, headed north towards Jacksonville, very uneventful trip, safe trip home. Next day was my off day on Tuesday. Never left the house. Didn't feel like doing anything. Again, I think I was still mentally exhausted. Wednesday I got back up, headed south to Tampa again. Very uneventful trip until I got almost to Tampa, about 10 minutes out. There's where I came up to an intermodal facility. I approached the whistle post, started blowing the horn, and a large, huge tractor trailer just started easing over the crossing. We're running 79 miles per hour. There was no doubt I was going to hit him. Again, I put my train brakes into emergency. I ran back into my little spot back there behind the engine in the engine room, knelt down, covered my head with my arms again, and waited for impact. When I hit the truck, it was an unbelievable hard impact. The train actually derailed the front lead trucks on the engine. The sound of the rocks on the bottom of that engine seemed like it went on for eternity. To make matters worse, as soon as I hit the truck, his gas tanks exploded. The engine was totally on fire. I ran back to the engine, to the back of the engine, got off that door, opened that door, and again got off the east side, ran back. The whole train was on fire, the whole bottom of the train. The crew did a miraculous job putting out the fires with our fire extinguisher. They were trained just as they were trained to do. We helped evacuate all the passengers. Again, very minor injuries, just a little smoke inhalation. What happens next is special to me. Special to me personally. My wife was always concerned about some of my bad trips, and she knew that previous Sunday was a bad one, so I thought I'd call her on a cell phone. So I called her, see if she had heard about it. She was 10 minutes away. She had decided to spend her off day coming up to Tampa to surprise me, to be with me on my 28-hour layover. She knew how despondent I was the day before. She actually took me to the hospital, where I received, thank God, only minor injuries. She was an angel that day. She was a godsend, no doubt about it. It was great to have her there with me just a few minutes after such a tragic event. Unfortunately, the truck driver lost his life. Let's talk a little bit about why we're here today, about why Operation Lifesaver is so important in this community and the great state of California. Every 180 minutes or every 3 hours, a train hits either a pedestrian or a vehicle on railroad property. Every 3 hours. That's a great improvement. It used to be every 90 minutes or every hour and a half. So it's been great strides, but there's a lot of work to be done. In 2010, Pete's already alluded to some of this, there were 2,004 train vehicle collisions with 124 right here in California. Out of those collisions, there were 260 fatalities, with 29 right here in California. Also in 2010, there were 451 trespasser fatalities. 451 is a major challenge for us in this community. In California, they led the nation with 66 fatalities. And we ask ourselves, how in the world, why in the world do things like this happen? Do horrible collisions like this happen? Ladies and gentlemen, it's very important that I stress to you today that it is certainly not my intent to put the blame on anyone or anything. The solution is to continue to educate we, the general American public, along with professional truck drivers and law enforcement officers, about the dangers at railroad crossings. I'm going to do something special today. I've been doing it this week, and I'm certainly going to do it here with this group here today. I'm going to challenge a couple of you in this audience today. John, I'm going to start with you. As Vice President of J.B. Hunt, in your capacity, you said you had 700 trucks on the road. I'd like to challenge you, sir. If you can tell one person or more about Operation Lifesaver in the next 24 hours, could you do that?
Absolutely.
How about you, Scott? Same challenge.
Yes, sir.
Josh, how about it?
Absolutely.
Easy challenge, isn't it?
Yeah.
How about you, ma'am? Can you do that? In fact, I'll tell you what we're going to do today. We're going to have an old-fashioned Operation Lifesaver Trucker on the Train event, highway rail grade crossing safety revival right here today. I'm going to ask each and every one of you in this group today, every one of you, if you can meet that simple challenge, tell one person about Operation Lifesaver, about rail safety, just one person or more. If you can do that, would you just clap your hands with me? It's an easy challenge for you. Thank you for making that commitment. Let me close with this very, very sobering statement. Seldom do trains seek out unsuspecting motorists, and we don't have steering wheels up there. And the best way for us to remain safe at our nation's highway rail grade crossings is to simply follow Operation Lifesaver's motto: look, listen, and live. Too many people take too many chances to save just a moment. May this tragedy at Cypress Creek Road with the gas tanker, as well as all other train vehicle collisions around this country, serve as a somber reminder to all that the race to beat a train could very well be the last race of your life. I'm pleading with each and every one of you in this audience today, go out and tell someone about Operation Lifesaver. Become involved in this program. A lot of people ask me why in the world I go around talking about something so brutal, so tragic. Well, I tell you, what I say or what all these other volunteers around this group say, if we can save one life, mission accomplished. Thank you all, and God bless you all.